One of the most interesting parts about documenting your life, like on YouTube, is that I can go back and watch different parts of my life, like different times in my life. I was watching videos a few nights ago of when I was just getting back from South Korea with the military. Preston moved down to Texas from Pennsylvania, and he was building out our first warehouse that had a gym attached to it, and we were in such a different part of life. Seeing kind of what we're doing now, what we're building, and how far we've come over time, it's easy to get caught up in how fast things are moving. But being able to look back at the parts of our life that we documented and shared online through this whole process, it's very, very humbling. But it makes you so grateful and appreciative for where you started and the process of building and where you're at now and where you're heading. And to do that with a team and a community online is such an amazing experience, and it's such an amazing part. I mean, I'll just come in here and I'll just sit in this room, or I'll sit in the gym and I'll look at what we're building, and I'm just like, how did we get here? Sometimes, it felt like it feels like it goes so fast, but I mean, it does. It's just crazy. It's been such a journey. It's been such a journey to get here. So right behind me is our new 76,000 square foot HQ, and it will be done in a few weeks. Our entire team will move from our current footprint over to this building, and we'll all be consolidated, which is gonna be really nice because we're currently operating out of 3 buildings, and then we have an additional building that is overflow for inventory. So what I wanna do in this video is talk about the journey to get here. From what started in my college apartment in Western Pennsylvania in 2012 to this right here, the future of BPN. And the reason that I want to share this story in the journey is not to show off and showcase what we are about to have and what we have built, but to tell you and show you that you can do it too. You can have something like this if you want it. And there's a path, there's a way to get there. I want to share some of the things that we have done and we've focused on that have gotten us here. So when I started my business, I was 22 years old. And this was something I wanted to do for years leading up to the moment before I finally jumped in. I was going to school at IUP, the Indiana University of Pennsylvania. I was studying nutrition. I was on an Army ROTC scholarship, so I knew I was going right into the Army upon graduation. And the experience, the event that pushed me over that edge to jump and go all in was when I had to go to what is called LDAC, the Leadership Development Assessment course. And every ROTC cadet between their junior and senior year of college has to go to this 30-day assessment course. For me at the time, it was out in Washington State at Fort Lewis. And here's where you get assessed compared to all the other cadets in the nation, and this ultimately determines, based off of how you perform, what you do in the military. And I went to this course for 30 days, and I received the rating of E, which stood for exceptional. It was the highest rating you can get. And at this point in my life, it was the only time that I can remember being assessed or viewed as or graded as exceptional, and it provided me so much confidence. That was the confidence I needed to come back to Pennsylvania and start my company, to form the LLC, to push go, to go all in. That was the moment that pushed me over the edge to start BPN.
All right, so second day back to work after 20 days of block leave, and it's like really setting in now that the gym is opening in less than a month. So February 4th is the official grand opening. The reason it's setting in right now so much is because I'm back to work full time. That wall's getting painted black, so it's gonna be flat black over there. And then the inside of the cardio room, that's gonna be cardio room now, that's gonna be painted black as well. And then tomorrow we're gonna finish the floors after everything gets painted.
So it's 9 p.m. right now, just getting some orders out. It was a busy day. Obviously since January, because everyone's getting back into the fitness thing, so it's just been crazy busy lately.
Like all day I was just like, you're not doing enough, you're not working hard enough, you're not doing what you truly need to do to get to the point where you want to be. Even though this is where I want to be. Like, I want to grow myself in the company. I want to own my own gym. I'm loving what I'm doing right now. Like, this is, I couldn't dream of making my goals a reality more than this right now. But this isn't like the end all be all. This is just like a stepping stone to the goals that I need to accomplish to get to the next level. It's like setting the conditions to move forward.
Now our new HQ is right around the corner from our current HQ, and our current HQ is right down the road from our first, I would like to call HQ, but it was really a warehouse, a 6,000 square foot warehouse. So we have been operating in the same general vicinity and location since 2016. So for the last 8-9 years, this will be our third building, but in the same area. Now, depending on how long you've been following this channel and my journey, you might recognize this building. This was our first warehouse space that we ever moved into. So this was the edge of the building, and then our occupying space went to the end of that garage door right there. So we had that garage door and this garage door. There were some offices, or there are some offices up front. And back here is where we had a gym space, we had warehouse space, we had 2 packing stations. This was our first commercial real estate space that we occupied. Now, moving into this space was a big deal because for the first 4 years, we operated the business out of my college apartment, a bedroom above my parents' garage, and then moved the business down here to Texas and operated it out of my house. I mean, me and my brother packed orders out of my house in Temple, Texas. And then we signed this lease in 2016. We actually signed this lease when I was still in South Korea on a 9-month rotation with the military. And my brother Preston moved down from Pennsylvania to Texas. He signed this lease, and I signed it before I even saw it. He blessed off on it. And this was the first time that we actually had overhead. We had to manage more fixed expenses and costs. And from 2016 to 2017, we crossed the 7-figure revenue mark. In 2017, we did about 1.7 million in revenue. But cash flow was an absolute nightmare. And paying for this rent was very, very, very challenging and extremely tight some months. But this was a critical piece to growing our business. Signing a lease here, being able to grow, expand, and learn, this was valuable for us. James Clear said, "Any time in my life when I have managed to go from a vision to a reality, the vision has not been a plan. It has been a practice." That is the first thing I believe you require to get to where you want to be. I never envisioned that we'd be moving into a 76,000 square foot HQ that had a 9,000 square foot gym that was holding 40 plus full-time employees, 15,000 square feet of office space, and over 50,000 square feet of warehouse and fulfillment. I never visualized that when I started the business in 2012, but it's been a practice daily of envisioning the next steps of where we're heading, what that looks like, and what we have to do right now to make that reality. Vision is not something that you create when you get started and it maintains the entire way through, the whole course, the entire process. It evolves over time, but vision is a practice that has to be prioritized because it is extremely valuable, especially from a founder. The purpose behind the vision drives the execution. It's essential. It's critical. Believe in the vision. Now, by 2019, we grew and we needed more space. So we moved into this new footprint. And the original occupying space that we had was 10,000 square feet. As we grew and we expanded, we needed more space. So we grabbed units to the left, to the right, behind, which is one of the reasons we had to create this hole in the wall here to expand to additional spaces and sign more leases. I mean, I remember moving into this building and our entire inventory was maybe 20 pallets. I mean, we had just a few pallets on the first level. And in this back corner of this building was our gym. And you can still see the remaining pieces of the gym. So the gym portion was painted black, as you can see where the gym ended. And then this big BPNB icon was above where the turf laid right here. So this whole corner back here was the gym that we used when we weren't working and we were training. You know, I'm just thinking about the evolution of the way we fulfilled impact orders over the years. And what started with me in my college apartment, and I would pack orders at night for the orders that would come in that day or the couple days prior, and I would drop off those packages at the post office on the way to my classes. And then when we moved the company down to Texas, Preston would pack orders in my house when I was working at Fort Hood with the Army, and he would drop off those packages at the post office at the end of the day or the next day. And eventually when we moved into our first warehouse and this expansion, this new HQ, we built out more robust packing stations, but it was still a lot of manual processes. And now looking to what we've built out in terms of automation and efficiencies, and our ops team over in the building behind where I'm at right now, it's been amazing to watch and witness. Not just the systems that have been built, but the people who have come along for the journey and have helped build out those systems and those efficiencies. But it's constantly just a learning, evolutionary process. You try to get better with each and every day and year and opportunity. The second characteristic that I believe you have to embody in order to achieve success is accountability. Just like in Jocko Willink and Leif Babin's book, Extreme Ownership, you can't blame anyone else. You can't blame anything else. When things go wrong, when things go right, you have to turn that finger around, point it on yourself, and take extreme ownership. Be responsible and accountable for the outcomes. When it comes to leadership, when things succeed, you praise the team. You reward the team. You recognize the team. When things fail, you take ownership. You take accountability of that. And once you stop trying to find the source of the problem or the issue and pointing that finger elsewhere and turning it back around on yourself, that is when you can truly unlock levels of success for the entire process, the whole way through. Extreme ownership and accountability. And if you do that, you can have very honest conversations with yourself of why you're not getting to where you want to be. Now, we have always had a gym at our facilities. And as we build out this next training facility at the new HQ, it's 9,000 square feet. You might be asking yourself, why do you guys need a 9,000 square foot training facility that's not open to the public, but it's just for the team? Well, we've never put much thought behind it because it's so real and authentic to us, to our DNA, to what we believe in, our values, the mission behind this company. We have and always will build out training facilities no matter where we're working out of, because this is the lifestyle that we live. This is what we embody. This is what we're all about. Now, this current facility, which is about 3,000 square feet, it's great. It's amazing. I mean, this is a dream to have attached to where you work. But as our team is growing, this place gets jam-packed filled with team members after work, before work, after work, on the weekends. We're building out the future of BPN. We're building out the future of this team. And this right here will always be part of the culture, part of the DNA, part of the bloodline of who we are, what we do, and what we believe in. Now, as I've shared, Play has designed and is building out our new training facility at the Future HQ. Play is actually the same company who did this flooring here. So they specialize in turf, in gym flooring, and now getting into equipment. So they are designing and building out everything at the new facility, which is going to be nice. So we'll have turf, we'll have all the plate-loaded machines there, obviously free weights, dumbbells, cables. So it'll be intentionally designed and laid out to facilitate team workouts, group workouts, different training styles. We'll have multiple squat rack systems as opposed to just like this rig here. But it's going to be cool and it's going to be exciting. Right outside of the gym, we have our sauna. At the new HQ, we'll have multiple saunas and cold plunges. We will actually, for our first time ever, have a legitimate locker room, which is going to be very nice for the team. But I have these words on the wall here that mean a lot to me. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Now, the reason those words are so meaningful is because in 2012, when I told my dad that I was starting a business, I told him that I was going to make $1 million that first year. And he laughed and he said, "Nick, if it were that easy, everyone would do it." And he was right, because that first year we did $20,000 in revenue. That second year we did $20,000 in revenue. That third year we did $20,000 in revenue. And I realized getting to that 1 million mark was going to be a lot harder than I originally anticipated. Over the years, as we've grown, we've had to pick up additional space within this business park. Really, whatever was available. So it started as 10,000 square feet over there, then became 20,000 square feet, and then we grabbed another 5,000 square feet where our gym and podcast studio is at. And then we ended up grabbing 20,000 square feet over here. And last but certainly not least, we moved our brand team to an office way up front there, which is an additional 5,000 square feet. So needless to say, we're all very excited to be under one building, one roof. It should improve communication, camaraderie, fun, as opposed to being split up in multiple different buildings. But over here is where fulfillment, customer service, ops is located. So our fulfillment is split between automation and then manual fulfillment. So we have a team on this line right here who is manually packing and fulfilling orders. And then this machine here is called the Opera, which at the end of this line you add product to from an order. It moves the product down the line on the Opera and it packs and fulfills that order based off this automated machine in process. And these are called flow tracks. So the flow tracks are behind every packing station and they get filled from the back. And each one of these positions has a pre-allocated and set up spot for different products and variants of products. So we have strong red strawberry, for example, creatine, 60 servings, pineapple coconut strong greens, prickly pear flight, mango flight, and then it moves on to Go Gels over here, G1M Sport, whey protein, Peak Sleep gummies, which we literally just launched today. This is a brand new product. So the flow tracks, like I said, are behind every packing station. I'm a big believer in the concept of always being a student. You never truly become a master or an expert at something, but you are always on the journey of learning. And I spend a lot of time listening to audiobooks, reading books, listening to podcasts. I very tightly control what kind and type of content I'm consuming, because the content that I consume, what I fill my mind and thoughts and ideas and perspectives with, I want to be positive. I want them to have a positive result, an outcome, an impact on this business and the people of this business, the consumers of this business. So the goal is to always be a student, always be learning. And I've seen such a massive ROI on that time and where I've spent that time. And I encourage you guys to always be a student. Always be reading, listening, learning from people who have been there, done it, explored, succeeded, but also failed, and learn from those experiences. Always be a student. Never stop. And while we have historically been a primary D2C business, the Amazon side of our business and retail side of our business has been growing over these last couple of years. So this is an example of just a truckload of what is being picked up for some of our key retail accounts. And this will get picked up today, shipped out for distribution. So retail and Amazon get staged over here, and then D2C orders get staged on the other side. You know, I am so grateful and appreciative for this team and the people on this team. One of my favorite authors is Jim Collins, and I highly recommend all of his books. They have been instrumental to building this business. And one of the things that he says is that great vision without great people is irrelevant. And I 100% agree with that. I started and founded BPN in 2012, but I by no means built it on my own, by myself, to what it is and what it's become today. I have had great people. I have great people alongside me building, and I could not have done it without a team and the right people with me. And this, my friends, is the creative brand team. Different vibes, as you can see. Different energy, different smells, but same great, hardworking individuals. All right, here we have George, filmmaker, brand team. What makes the BPN's media side of the business so unique and different?
Dude, there's a lot of reasons I could bring up. One of the biggest, in my opinion, is the fact that we put the story over everything. There's a lot of media teams, a lot of creative people who can make a video, who can shoot something, but they don't tell a story. And what I'm grateful for here is the fact that we put the story above some of the things that other people prioritize. Especially Jordan, who has kind of led that effort since last year, has just pushed us to find the story and find things that people resonate with. Because that's how you build a brand. Like, you don't build that by just giving people flashy ads or crazy things. It's built brick by brick with stories that people care about. And that's what got me into the brand. That's what got these people into the brand. Like, we're here to tell stories, and I love that.
So I'm taking over Tony's office right now, who is our partnerships manager. But if there's one thing that I've learned over these last 13 years of building a business, building a brand, is that people matter. And you can have the best vision, you can have the strongest strategy, you can have the largest budget. But if you don't have the right people on your team, people who are bought into the mission, who believe in what they're building, who have aligned values behind your values and your company's values, if you don't bring on the right people, nothing else matters. You won't achieve success, you won't create impact, and you won't enjoy the journey. It won't be fun. It is so important to build your community, build your team, build your business with the right people. I've made mistakes in the past of going after talent or credentials or experience. And that stuff's important. It is. You need talent. You need experience, but it's not everything. Character, values, alignment, synergy. That stuff matters. And that will make or break you. So the general layout of the new HQ is pretty much framed, and they're making a lot of progress right now, which is great to see because we're planning on moving in here in less than 3 months. So starting up front, we have a small entrance lobby. Right when you come in to the right, we have a big conference room. This is the biggest conference room in the new HQ. We have 4 conference rooms total, some big, some small. The exterior of the office space, which I've shared, is about 15,000 square feet. The exterior is private offices. So this is for leadership team. This is for directors of departments. In the middle here is going to be our entire brand team. So media, videographers, photographers, editors. We went with an open concept for the brand team here. Working our way this way. In the back corner here is the podcast studio. So a podcast studio will have a viewing room, a small lounge. You can actually enter the gym or training facility right from the exterior of the podcast studio. This is one of my favorite parts. So we have this conference room. It has this big window, as you can see here. This window is getting cut open from this big conference room, which is all glass on the outside of it, there will be a big window that looks into the gym. So as we're having meetings, we bring people in to sit down, talk strategy, talk vision, new athletes, partners. You can feel the DNA of the brand. You can feel what we're about. We're about training, we're about fitness, we're about the lifestyle. This big conference room looks right out into the gym. Now my office, strategically put it right here. This is my office, and the one thing I requested is a private door from my office into the gym. So I will have this door here that goes from the back of my office straight into the gym, which is pretty cool. Over here, we have our locker rooms, bathrooms, and then our break room. The gym. All right, so this gym is about 3 times larger than our current gym. And like I told you, Play has designed this. They've done all the renders, the layouts, very intentionally and strategically built it out for us. And it's huge. So all the glass doors and windows aren't in yet, but you can see we're replacing all your traditional garage doors, bay loading doors that would come standard in a warehouse with these all black steel glass doors and windows. And then this window here actually looks into where we're going to have saunas and cold plunges. So you can enter the locker rooms or enter the sauna and cold plunge room from the locker rooms. And then this will be like frosted glass. So when you're in the sauna, you're in the cold plunge, you can look out into the gym, watching people train. And I believe right here is where there's going to be a massive piece of turf, which is going to be epic. Something that we really wanted to have here that we don't have in our current space is a real break room. And because we didn't build out our current space from the ground up, we just took over existing pre-built spaces. They come with these small kitchenettes in each suite, which you can only do so much with. We wanted an actual break room. We have a massive break room that's right off from the gym that will be able to facilitate team meetings, team lunches. It's huge. Multiple dishwashers and fridges and microwaves. So that's going to be a really important part of this entire building, this new HQ. And here, ladies and gentlemen, 50,000+ square feet of storage, of fulfillment, of just the space that we needed for this next phase of growth. Just standing here and looking at the vastness of how big this is makes it feel real. It puts it into perspective. Where we started, what we've grown into, and then where we're going. You know, there's a lot of things that we've done right along the way, but there's also a lot of things that we've done wrong along the way. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of failures. But the greatest skill and characteristic you can have in life, I believe, especially when it comes to building a business, is being consistent and playing the long game. Being very intentional with the decisions you're making, where you spend your time, where you spend your money, where you spend your resources. It is choosing the hard right over the easy wrong and being consistently good rather than occasionally great. I've been at this for 13 years now. 13 years being consistent. There was never a home run moment. There was never an overnight explosion or period of growth, but it has been chipping away day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and making slow but steady progress and improvements. I was once told and heard that once you try to exchange your values for exposure, growth, or money, you can never make that trade back. And I've lived by that. I remember that and think about that daily. And I apply that to the choices we make, the decisions we pursue, and how we build this business. You know, one of the reasons for this move in a new space is because our current lease was coming to an end. And we had to make the decision to either re-sign a new long-term lease in our existing space, which would have been safe, easy, and comfortable, or pursue a new lease, build out a new building, which required upfront capital and an investment of time and money on our part. But this new building, this new HQ, is so much more than a new lease, is so much more than new walls and new building and materials. It signifies and marks for me a new chapter, the beginning of a new phase of the build and growth of BPN. Something that started in my college apartment over a decade ago. And I never thought it would look like this. I never did. I never in my wildest imagination thought that we would get to this point, but we have. And we did because of a lot of work. A lot of really hard work from a lot of really amazing people. So this means a lot for me. And we couldn't be here without the support and love from you guys. And I appreciate that. And I think about that and I recognize that every single day. So thank you. Thank you for supporting our vision, our mission, what we believe in, what we love to do, what we're so passionate about. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do that. And I'm so excited for this next chapter. I'm excited for the journey. I'm excited for what is to come and the opportunity and the experience. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lots of fun.
The sunshine.